What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactics video, and after many Patreon messages and YouTube messages, we're going to be recreating Ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 on the latest match engine. If you do enjoy the tactic videos, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. But let's go right into the testing phase. So we're going to kick things off with a random team. That is going to be Bayern Munich, obviously over in the German league. Managed to win the Bundesliga and the German Super Cup, runners up in the Pokal, scoring 124 goals and only conceding 17 goals. Still a very impressive stat line when it comes to the goals conceded. Going over to the data hub, we do love to have a little look. 3.65 goals per game, conceded at only 0.5. So a very good defensive display, a very good attacking display, and pass completion of nearly 88%. So an absolute dominant season over in Germany. Something which we did expect with Bayern Munich, but still really good to see how dominant we actually were. And we're now going to go over and look at some of the league stats too. And we actually dominated a lot of it. Most points per game at 2.76, most goals at 124, most shots for at 946, fewest shots against, most possession at 61%, something which we are very familiar to see with Ten Hag's tactics, fewest conceded, and also the most clean sheets. So a really, really good display. And going over to what is going to be the squad screen, we are going to have a very quick look. As you can see right now, we're going to filter by the goals. We're going to have Sadio Mane coming in with 38 goals, Leroy Sané with 29, 19 for Jamal Musiala, 13 for Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman with 12, 12 for Choupo-Moting, 12 for Thomas Muller. In terms of the assists, we're going to have 25 for Joshua Kimmich, 17 for Leroy Sané, Musiala with 14, 13 coming out of Sadio Mane, Gravenberch with 9, 8 for Thomas Muller, and Gnabry with 8, alongside of Davies also contributing with 8 assists. Some really good contributions coming in right now. You can see all the way up here, 8 and above, so a load of people getting involved, something we do love to see with these tactics. And obviously, as well as the goals, we've got a lot of contributions. Sadio Mane, Leroy Sané, Musiala, Gnabry, Coman, all picking up really impressive amounts of goals. And one thing we're going to see more with Manchester United is that front four. I'm on about the winger, the central sort of attacking midfield player, the right winger, and the striker. They all get involved and contribute massively. So there's not really one standout player. There's always going to be one that scores the most. But even you can see here, there's not much of a difference here between first and second place in top goal scorer. They always get involved, and that's what we love to see. And we then got over to Ajax, obviously Ten Hag's previous club, a club that he done so well of, and that is why he got the attention from Manchester United. And we had an absolute blinder of a season. We won the Dutch League, the Dutch Cup, and also won the Johan Cruyff Shield. We also did get to the Champions League final, which I'm going to show you in a second, but unfortunately we lost against Real Madrid. But still, a fantastic season that shows how good this tactic is to get to the Champions League final. We scored 123 league goals, only conceded 14, and the most impressive thing, we actually managed to go invincible. That is right, winning 33 games and only drawing 1. 0 losses, which is always good to see. Now, it's a little bit annoying because obviously that one draw was against PSV, one of the best teams in the league, so not as gutted, but it would have been nice to get a perfect 34 out of 34 ratio. But we can't be too selfish. It was a great season, obviously only drawing one of the games, and the data hub is going to look really generous as well. I can already tell. 3.62 goals per game, which is absolutely incredible. Goals conceded at 0.41, so a really good defensive display as well. And the pass completion coming in at 87%, something which we really can't complain about. A great season for a great team. And let's go over now and look at some of the league stats. So the league stats are going to look absolutely incredible, all in our favour pretty much. Most points per game, most goals, most shots for, fewest shots against, best pass completion, actually not the top of that one. It's still at a good percentage, 87%. Most possession, we absolutely dominated, obviously, something which we do love to see in these tactics. Most dribbles made, fewest conceded, and also the most clean sheets. So overall, a very, very good season. Just looking at the stats alone. Forget the trophies. The stats alone look really impressive as well. And going over to the squad, we are going to have a very look. I mean, it is quite a small team, to be honest. Compared to a lot of teams where you can scroll down pages and pages, we have hardly any players, so it is really impressive. We still put on a great display. It's going to be Broby coming in with 41 goals. A great player, by the way. If you need a striker on this game, I would definitely look no further than this lad because he's a really good option. We're going to have Lorenzo Luca with 33, 23 for Kudus, 23 for Tadic, Bergwijn with 16, 12 for Consejo, Berghaus coming in with 9, and 9 also for Klaassen. In terms of the assists, we've got 24 for Kudus, Tadic with 24, 20 for Bergwijn, 15 for Klaassen, Taylor with 11, and Berghaus coming in with 9. So again, a very, very, very similar sort of story to what we're seeing at Bayern Munich. A lot of players are getting involved with the goals. This one actually a little bit more tight-knit, as 2 with 23, 1 with 33, 1 at 41. And in terms of the assisters as well, we are looking at a lot of different people getting involved from all different areas of the field, which is really good to see. So a great season with Ajax. Let's go now and see some of the goals we scored with this Ajax side. Before we do that, though, I'm going to quickly show you something. That is going to be that we did get to the Champions League final. Unfortunately, we did lose to Real Madrid, but I did want to show you just to prove it, because obviously it is a really big accomplishment. And the game that I'm tempted to watch is going to be this comeback. This comeback against Liverpool, I'm quite tempted to watch. Or do we watch one with more goals? Let's watch one with a lot more goals. This one here looks very nice. An 8-0 win. We love to see the goals on this channel, so let's go and watch them. It's going to be 8 of them, though, so it's going to be a bit of some highlights to go over, but we do love to see that. Obviously, it's going to be quite a comfortable win against a team which we should be beaten, to be fair. We're going to switch this to TV as well. But let's watch some of the goals and see how they go in. It's going to be Edson Alvarez building up from the back into Bassi, into Bergwijn down this left-hand side. A drilled ball across into Kudus. I mean, it's a great play. Obviously, a key part of Ten Hag's system is going to be, you know, creating chances from the wide areas, which is something which we've replicated really well in this tactic. A ball goes into the box now, a little bit more direct, as Lorenzo Luca actually gets in quite an impressive header there, to be fair to him, to make it 2-0. A poor touch from them there as Wrench cleans up the scraps. Back into Timber, a ball over the top into Tadic, over the top again into the box, into Luca to make it 3-0 inside of 36 minutes. And I feel like when you're, you know, this amount of goals up against a team which realistically you should be beaten, you've got no stress about winning the game as they lose it again. A great bit of pressing from Kudus to win it back. Don't know what the defence was doing, and he actually goes alone, puts it into the far right corner. Keeper should have done better at his near post, but who's the keeper? I mean, the defenders, that was their fault at the end of the day. They should not be losing the ball that close to their goal. As Klaassen picks it up into Taylor, into Bergwijn, who tucks it into the bottom left-hand corner. Again, showing how good we are from transitioning from the right-hand side into central areas, into actually creating a chance. Using the wide areas again now. It's going to be Bassi out wide into Bergwijn. Tons of space. Is it going to get drilled across? It is into Luca. I must say, the Fatih's defence has really been awful from the get-go, as we scored 8 goals, obviously, for one. That's one negative side to it, but the fact of just how easy it is to sort of cut them apart. No defensive quality at all. As we go again into Broby, who heads up practically into an open net. The goalkeeper also hasn't had the best day at the office either, but, you know, when your defence has got that many errors, your goalkeeper's not going to be confident, is he? As we go again here with a ball over the top. Again, shock and defendant as Broby touches it down, levers it into the top left corner in a comfortable 8-0 win. And now this is going to be the one the United fans are probably here for. How did Manchester United do this season with Ten Hag inspired tactic? And that was a really good question, and a question which we've answered really well, because we've won the Europa League against Feyenoord, a team which I've got a lot of respect for this season. I think everyone should have respect for them. A great team, also the Premier League champions, and also the Carabao Cup champions against Arsenal. So a really impressive season. 97 goals scored, only 27 conceded, and as you can see, it was actually quite a comfortable season, with Liverpool and Brentford coming in second and third. Arsenal also clenching that 4th place for Champions League football. Going over to some of the stats, we are going to be only showing a few of them, because we are going to break them down as I show you the tactic, because it shows you guys what you can expect from the tactic and how certain players performed in this Manchester United team. But we are going to go and look at some of the league stats right now. So the league stats, we didn't actually dominate too many of them, to be honest, but the ones that really mattered, that actually means you are going to win games, we dominated. So obviously most points per game, obviously we got that one. Most goals at 97, quite a few more than Liverpool. Most shots for, we did have a lot of shots with this system across all 3 of the saves. Fewer shots against, and also the best possession, 59%, which is really impressive. Obviously, you've got Arsenal that play quite a possession-based style. Manchester City actually not having a great season at all in terms of possession, and also league placement. And best pass completion, we were slightly lower down the list here with 86%. Chelsea with 89, which does surprise me because they're not the most elegant team to watch at the moment. But overall, a great season in terms of the stats. But let's go over and break down the tactic and talk a little bit more about how this Manchester United team done with this tactic. So, this is going to be Erik Ten Hag's masterclass. It's 4-2-3-1, made for the current match engine. If you do enjoy the tactics on this channel, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications. And I want to quickly thank all of the names that are floating down the screen now. These are people that are Patreon members, existing ones and new ones. If you do wish to join the Patreon, it's only £2 a month. You get access to early tactics. You also can download all 3 of the save files and much more. We're also going to be running some giveaways on there, so do get involved. The link is in the description. But let's go ahead and talk tactics. So this is going to be the default version. This is the one which we do all of the testing in. As I do like to mention, we play roughly about 10 to 15 games of the season. They're going to be the rival games, the finals, the semi-finals, the really important ties. And do let me know if you do want to see more of the games actually being played in the video, because I'm more than happy to do that. But let's kick things off then. So it is going to be the team mentality. That's going to be set to attacking, because positive was just a little bit, it wasn't really out there enough from the get-go, in my opinion. In possession, you want fairly wide. Play out of defence, shorter passing directness, and a slightly higher tempo. Ten Hag does play with a higher tempo, but not all the way maxed out, in my opinion. If I had to replicate it inside of the game, I wouldn't say it's going to be based around the standard, but slightly higher just feels right. It sort of suits the style that he plays. And the final third is going to be selected with mixed crosses. In transition, you want counter press, counter, distribute to the centre-backs, and take short goal kicks. Obviously, United are pretty known for obviously, winning the ball back, getting aggressive, trying to win the ball back. Hence why there are quite a few bookings of real life. Casemiro, if you're watching, stop getting sent off. And also the counter-attack is something which Manchester United do quite frequently. When you've got Marcus Rashford running in behind, do you need to worry? Not at all. Marcus Rashford is absolutely lethal on the break. And as a United fan, by far the most enjoyable player to watch in this team. Out of possession, we're going to have a standard defensive line and a high press line of engagement with much more often on the trigger press and also provincial goalkeeper distribution. Now, I am going to say something right now. Ten Hag does play with a higher line, but just in FM from the get-go with this style, it didn't really work. So if you do want to play 100% like him, you can rock the high line from the get-go. But in my opinion, as you're going to see with the attacking variant, that's something you switch to if you need a goal desperately. But with these team instructions, as you can see right now from the data hub, we actually have some really good stat lines. As you can see, the goals per game we didn't struggle with at all. 2.55 goals per game, which is really good with this Manchester United team. Obviously, not favourites to win the Premier League by some distance. Man City and Arsenal, obviously clear favourites, especially on this game. And also Liverpool on this game would be, in my opinion, a little bit more sort of a better team on this game to win it. Let's just put it that way. And 0.71 conceded, way under a goal a game conceded as well. Now, with the high defensive line, you're probably going to look more to a goal conceded. So having it on standard does help out a lot. And something that I would recommend doing because it just makes it a lot more of a solid tactic. Now, going over some of the player roles, we are going to start things off. A sweeper keeper on support, on take more risks, the default instruction. The fullback, obviously, both of them are going to be told to sit narrower. It's a key thing in Ten Hag's system, so that is one thing you need to have on. This one is going to also be told to run wide with the ball. That is the fullback on the right. On the left, we've got a fullback on support, on sit narrower. We've got a central defender on defend, on stay wider. Again, these players are going to be told to stay wider. The fullback sit narrower. It's really good link-up play. Build up from the back. It's really good to see. And next to him, a ball-playing defender on stay wider. On defend, that is. The two midfield players. Now, again, you can easily drop these two down and have a DM and also a deep line playmaker, as in drop them down to sort of, these areas. But for me, I prefer my 4-2-3-1 a little bit pushed up. And we've gone with a ball-winning midfielder on support. Obviously, on tackle harder because it is Casemiro. He's very aggressive. He does get the odd red card, let's be honest. He does get the odd booking, and that is the style of the team, though. Ten Hag likes aggressive midfielders, players that are going to put in a challenge, and that is something which Casemiro definitely is up for. And going over to next to him, we've got a deep line playmaker on support, and he's going to be on the default instructions. We have an inverted winger on the left on stay wider. Obviously, the default instructions are perfect for the likes of Marcus Rashford, who had a great season, as we can see here. 46 goals, 11 assists, and a 7.5 match rating. Had a sensational season, and a lot of the default instructions are exactly what I want him to do. Obviously, cut inside being the key one. We see it so often in real life. He picks up the ball wide, cuts inside, has a pop, creates a chance. That's what he does, and that's something which we managed to replicate really well in this game. We then have an advanced playmaker on attack, on roam from position, and move into channels. Again, Bruno Fernandes having quite a good season. 21 goals, 23 assists, 7.43 rating. Again, a great season out of Bruno Fernandes, enjoying a really good season in real life as well. So that is always good to see as a United fan. He does have his downsides, the wide into the referee, etc. But overall, a great player. And on the right-hand side, we've got an inside forward on attack. On stay wider, again, this is going to be your Anthony, a player who picks up the ball wide, obviously comes inside, always has that sort of, I'd describe it as a finesse shot, tries to put it into the corner. Doesn't work all the time, but when it does look beautiful. And as you can see, Anthony with 15 goals, 12 assists, and a 7.32 match rate. And now, I'm not going to critique him too much because he was getting played all over the shop, to be honest, because some games Rashford was up top, Anthony got shoved out on the left, Sancho on the right. So, it's a mixture. It is really a mixture of roles and players, and it's a bit of a tricky one. I'm going to be real. And as you can see with Sancho as well, he had a fairly average season alongside of Anthony because they were sharing very similar roles, with 12 goals, 25 assists, and a 7.25 match rating. So overall, it was a bit of a chop and change. I can't really critique them because they were playing in the same position and occasionally being thrown out on the left as well. And it is what it is. But overall, enough goal contributions to win us the league and the Europa League and an English trophy. So it did work, which is the main thing. And to finish it off, the advanced forward on attack on move into channels. And that is going to be the Eric Ten Hag Masterclass 43-1 broken down. But please do stick around because we've got an attacking variant and a defensive variant for you guys to switch to in the games. Again, if you're a Patreon member, you can download all of these tactics with the early access as well. But you haven't got to, because we are going to go over them and you can simply copy them. And that way it's going to be completely free for you guys. But obviously, when I upload this tactic to FM Scout, I can only upload one. That is the only reason we don't upload all three. But let's go ahead and talk about the attacking variant. So the attacking variant, there's not too many changes, but there are some important ones. That is going to be the fullbacks are going to be told to actually go on attacking. This is really to get them really aggressive, getting up the field and working well with the wide players up front. So nice and simple, both on sit narrower still, and they will essentially make runs in here and make very dangerous runs and cause a lot of issues for the opposition. It's exactly the same on the right-hand side as well. The fullback just simply switches to attack. Going over to the in possession tab, we've upped the tempo to higher, obviously in a very aggressive way of playing. But if you are hunting for a goal, this is what you want to be doing. And also the creative freedom is going to be set to be more expressive. So a couple of changes there. In transition, exactly the same. Now, if you are really trying to chase a goal desperately, you can switch distribute quickly and get the game going really quickly, but only do this if you are chasing a game sort of, with 20 minutes to go. I wouldn't recommend having this on right from the get-go. And out of possession, we actually adapt and have the higher defensive line, something which I did say obviously makes you a bit more vulnerable at the back. But if you are trying to chase a game or go into a game attacking, you've got to expect, obviously, the more attacking you go, the more vulnerable you're going to be at the back. But with this attacking variant, I did switch to it a few times when I was sort of 0-0 and I just wasn't really having the breakthroughs, and it makes an instant impact. So I would recommend downloading it as well. And going over to the defensive one, a little memory refresher. This is going to be the normal one. The defensive one is going to be like this. So as you can see, the wingers do drop down to a supportive role. Again, the instructions are going to stay the same, but they're just not going to be as aggressive going forward. And also, Bruno Fernandes drops down from that attacking role, into a advanced playmaker on support. And that is going to be nice and simple. I try and keep things as simple as I can because I don't really like to tweak around with positions too much unless it's needed. And with this, a 43-1 is naturally quite solid anyway, so you don't need to go over the top. The mentality does drop to positive. In possession, we've lowered down the tempo to slightly higher. I don't really want to lower it down much more than that. Dribble less, because that just makes you play about with the ball more, not go too crazy, and also be more disciplined, obviously with the creative freedom. In transition, we've opted for slow pace down. Again, an option you should really only have on if you are seeding out a game, sort of 10 to 20 minutes left to go. I don't see the real need to distribute or to slow the pace down right from the get-go, unless you're like, 4-0 up and you're going into the second leg, you're playing rotation, you're trying to grind the game out, then that is something you could do. And out of possession, we've kept the trigger press on much more often because you don't really want to take that off. And we've also dropped back to the standard defensive line. And that is going to be the defensive variant of the tactic broken down. So they are three fantastic 4-2-3-1 tactics, heavily inspired by Ten Hag. And if you have enjoyed the video, please do smash the like button. Let's try and smash 60 likes on this one. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And do stick around because Sunday, we've got a very exciting high-scoring tactic coming to you. I will see you boys in that video. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.